We are living through what feels like a hollow age. It is an era where human connection is measured in notifications and digital proximity, quantifying our lives through screens rather than skin. Beneath the conveniences of modern life, there is a persistent, silent ache. It is an existential yearning that hums quietly in the background, a low tide pulling at our attention, refusing to be satisfied by the volume of noise we surround ourselves with. The modern world demands a continuous live stream of our depth. We are trained to perform, to count the likes, and to build portfolios of merit to prove we deserve the space we take up. Keeping up that performance is exhausting, and when the exhaustion sets in, we often misinterpret our internal emptiness as a failure. We assume we must have taken a wrong turn, and that our lives somehow lack purpose. That assumption is built on a specific misconception. We believe purpose is supposed to arrive as a grand thunderclap. We wait for a sudden revelation, convinced that meaning is a destination waiting for us over the next mountain. So we maintain a white-knuckle grip on the steering wheel. We endure the daily grind, holding out for a new job title or a public validation that will finally make our existence feel justified. Chasing those loud, spectacular arrivals causes us to miss the actual geography of fulfillment. The reality of a meaningful life is built in the deeply ordinary places, standing in a coffee line, waiting at traffic lights, and existing in the quiet moments we normally beg to dismiss. That silent yearning we feel in the dark isn't a malfunction. It is a homing signal. It points us away from the spotlight and reminds us that we are unfinished people, designed to find our actual footing in the everyday rhythm of the unobserved world. Purpose is actually an internal meeting. It happens in a quiet room inside your chest, and for most of us, it is a meeting we continuously reschedule until we finally decide to show up awake. To make that meeting, we have to rethink the concept of prayer. Prayer, in its most practical, primal form, is the discipline of reclaiming our attention from a world designed to scatter our focus into 1,000 directions. True presence acts as a filter. It consolidates that scattered energy and pulls it inward, turning fragmented distraction into a single, stable point of intention. We usually ask for complete clarity. We want the map, the destination, the entire staircase illuminated at once. But the discipline of presence teaches us to operate with only enough light for the very next faithful step. By intentionally narrowing our focus to that single step, our daily posture begins to shift. We move away from being willful entities demanding the moment bend to our control, and we become willing participants, capable of accepting reality as it is. Reclaimed attention takes physical shape in the real world. It looks like a repeated yes to the mundane, unremarkable moments right in front of you. It is the unseen work of folding laundry with care. It is the restraint of a held tongue when an impulse doesn't deserve a voice. It is the choice to look directly into a pair of eyes and listen, without once checking the notification vibrating on your wrist. In this way, presence becomes a radical act of refusal. It is a quiet no to the digital machine that constantly insists you are only real if you are actively being observed by an audience. Life is not shaped by grand declarations. It is shaped by the steady, untelevised accumulation of these tiny, faithful decisions, the simple care you extend to the people in your immediate orbit. But staying in that orbit is harder than it sounds. Even in a quiet room, there is often a frantic internal friction, the energy of the ego demanding the world speed up and yield to our personal tempo. Managing that energy requires surrender. It is a deliberate calibration of the flame, an internal forge where the ego is melted down to its raw, honest ore. This requires a total reorientation. We have to open our clenched fists and release the heavy fantasy that we can control every outcome or manipulate the gifts of life. When you release that tension, you realize that true power is incredibly quiet. It is the deep internal alignment of living with a clear conscience, entirely separate from the need to force the world to applaud you. The geography of Prairie, Montana embodies this perfectly. It is a place that does not announce itself with grand arches or heavy expectations. There is a profound psychological relief in entering a space where the air thins and professional titles start to peel away. The mountains simply stand in unhurried confidence. They do not ask for a resume before offering shade. Look at the Yellowstone River. It moves like a sentence that has never needed revision. It doesn't fight the current until its shoulders tear. It simply trusts gravity to find the lowest, most honest places in the valley. That is the ultimate realization of peace. It is the incredible relief of waking up in the morning without needing to convince anyone, not even yourself, of your worth. We are allowed to be unfinished people in the middle of becoming. Quietness and even dormancy is not a failure of ambition. It is a necessary part of the design. A meaningful life is constructed brick by remarkable brick. It is the result of thousands of small, consistent acts of showing up awake and choosing to care. You don't have to wait for the thunderclap to validate your life. The quiet room inside your chest is open. The only question you have to answer is, where will you aim your attention today?